Hey y'all, here are OS Reviews. So we're taking a quick look at the Hiboy MAX3 electric scooter. This is a relatively heavy-duty e-scooter with these 10-inch pneumatic air-filled tires, and it goes up to 18.6 miles per hour at the top speed. Other specs here are inclusive of a 17-mile range, climbs up to 15-degree hills, powered by a 350-watt motor. It's IP54 rated for water resistance. Really should just be a slightly more comfortable riding experience compared to some of the smaller e-scooters that we've seen in the past, on average having, say, an 8.5-inch tire size. Although I should point out there is no suspension system built onto this particular model, so if you want that for even more smoothness in your ride, if you're going off-road into dirt and terrain, you would probably still have to pay for a more premium model, and can fold up for easier transportation, as you can see there. So really this is again competing with models like GoTrax, among other brands which are again aimed more for commuters, but just having a slightly larger deck, slightly larger tires on here. It does come partially assembled. That is, the front tire you have to attach yourself, and there is just this one cable that you have to plug in. The other part is the mount, which holds the handle in place. You do have to also screw in. The entire thing takes about 10 minutes or so to fully assemble out of the box. Other packaging accessories are inclusive of a quick user manual. You do get a charger, which, like other e-scooters and bikes, the indication light is located on the charger. So this is where you can tell if the battery reaches 100%. It takes around 4 to 5 hours to completely charge up. And then you do also get an air pump. Moving here to the rear, a few remarks include again the tail lights, which also flash when you are braking. Here's a quick demo as we are pressing on the brakes there. One of the things I do like about the deck here is the Hiboy logo is backlit. This doesn't add anything functionally speaking, but just makes it look a little cooler, especially in the dark, which, by the way, you can tap on the control deck 2 times to turn on the lights on or off. The deck is coated in a layer of soft touch rubber, which makes it pretty comfortable, and it is relatively wide. Here is a kind of 7-inch phone, just for size comparison. You can definitely fit 2 feet on here without any issues. Though I will say that the material here is constructed out of polycarbonate plastic as opposed to something like metal. The max load is going to support up to 220 pounds, and that's one area where they were able to cut down on cost a little bit compared to, again, a metal frame. After which point you can then just fold it all the way down. There will be a little hook here that you can use to unfold, and this will actually clamp inside here to lock it into place when you are folded, and this will allow you to pick up the handle on the go. So again, here's a profile view with the entire thing collapsed, and we do have the charging port located there on the edge, along with a kickstand on the other side. Here's a closer view here of the tires. They are rather firm, but again, still is air filled. You have these grooves on the side, but there's no real spikes, let's say, to further get traction if you are really going over rough terrain. The companion app is quite simple, but you can tell if you're connected using Bluetooth. You're also able to tell the remaining power left with more granularity, as well as how much miles you've traveled so far, and also the speed mode you can control from here. The lights that can also be turned on and turned off. Now, last but not least, you also can check out a map as you're riding, although that's something you can do with Google Maps or any other mapping tool of your choice, but they give you that as an option if desired. And a view of the handlebar here. So we do have a bell, which is a physical one instead of being digital, but you can easily ring that. And overall, to accelerate, there is just a bar on the edge there that you can press on. You can also hold for a few seconds to enter a cruise control mode, which will hold that speed. And of course, the actual control deck, there's again that QR code to scan to download the companion app. There's a small LED underneath to tell you the battery percentage, the speed, as well as the mode that you are on, such that if you're pressing on it once, you can switch between 3 different presets, which will limit the maximum speed that you can reach under those 3 modes. And again, a double tap will turn on and off the headlights, which is relatively bright when you are riding in darker environments. Overall, it's a comfortable riding experience, and it does indeed accelerate to a pretty fast speed. Some remarks, though, is again, there is no suspension, so if you're going over a lot of bumpy elements in the road, you do still feel a bit of that shock, but it's not too bad. The bigger tires are trying to help. Overall, the lights are also bright enough that it is easy to spot in the dark. And as far as the acceleration is concerned, it is rather sensitive. So be careful when you're first trying it out. You have to kind of practice using the throttle and being a little more gentle with it. The same thing can be said about the brakes, which are indeed super powerful. In fact, it might be a little bit too sensitive in the sense that when you are pressing, it just suddenly comes to a halt. That's safe in the sense that if there is an obstacle coming in front of you, it's easier to stop. Although if you are traveling at a fast speed, it's also easier to fall off. I haven't really flown off per se, but again, just be gentle on that brake. The gentlest taps, in my opinion, has been already very effective, making it a pretty good last mile commuter tool. So you can check out more details if interested in links down below. Overall, again, very good in terms of the speed as well as the lights I am a fan of, and I think as a whole it's a stylish and also a pretty decent, I would say, mid-tier e-scooter. Thanks for watching here at OS Reviews. That's been the Hiboy MAX3 electric scooter.